appointment. I went to look at a house with my client, but actually she really liked the house. But the strangest thing is we couldn't tell from the pictures online, but the laundry room was actually off of the garage. She didn't like that. She was like, what the heck, I'm gonna have to come out here with my clothes and stuff, and in the winter time it's cold. So yeah, that was a different layout. But the house was nice, but she was like, oh man, I really don't like that. So I'm in between appointments, so I'm going to Yankee Candle. I put these in the Sicilian lemon, and it has like a clean smell. So that's what I put like throughout the houses. Take it off, there's like a top, and then it's like what do they call, spears? Yeah, fragrance spears. But they're like, I don't know if I hold it, if you could see it. They're like little beads, like. And then but yeah, I was thinking, I was reading a book. What is the name of the book? I'll remember and I'll insert it here, but I was reading it, and the author was talking about like naming your tribe, meaning like, you know, your following. So like for me, you know, like my channel here, I would say like, hey, this is my tribe, my people who I come to share information with. These are people that I like to help, that are interested in real estate, interested in my story and what I share. And so they were saying you should give your tribe a name, right? So I was like, oh, I need to, you know, name my family, because sometimes when people come, or even in my videos, I'll say, hey, if you're into real estate, you know, real estate agent, real estate investing, or, you know, you can subscribe. So I was thinking, you guys tell me, what do you think about, I was trying to think of a name, and I was thinking real, like R-E-A-L from the real estate part, and then squad. So I was gonna say, oh, I could name my tribe Real Squad. Real Squad. So I'll say things like, hey, you know, click on the button to join the Real Squad, or something like that. So tell me what you think, or if you have an idea for a name that I can call my tribe, a name that I can call, you know, my channel here, people that subscribe to my channel, you know, what I will call them, like a nice sexy name, you know. That's why I was thinking Real Squad. But yeah, you guys tell me if you like that name, or please share some ideas, give me yeah, some tips on, you know, different names maybe that I can use. Okay, so this is what I can sometimes end up doing between appointments. So I stopped at Yankee Candle, and actually, I don't know if you guys noticed, I just realized that I had just canceled Seaside Woods, but for some reason, oh man, this one is the same thing. At least for me, I thought the wick was too short, and so it just wouldn't burn. It wouldn't burn like even. So Yankee Candle, you can bring it back and switch it. So I like the smell, but I'm gonna try it again and see if it actually burns correctly, because the candle, when it burns, it should like liquefy across the entire jar. That's how like you get the most out of candles. And so with this one, the one that I had that I exchanged it for, it was like, it's called tunneling, is when like the middle, like, you know, the candle is just burning all the way down to the middle, but all the side is not burning. So say how many hours you're supposed to get, 20 to 30 hours out of a Yankee Candle this size. But if you have a candle that's tunneling, you know, it's gonna cut the time. So maybe instead of getting your 20 to 30 hours, you may get, I don't know, 5 hours or 10 hours, because most of the candle, you know, it's not gonna burn. So I was like, you know, I love Yankee Candles. I was like, something is wrong with this candle, but I'm gonna try it again. This candle smells like so good. It is so strong. Like I said, it is it's chocolate layer cake. Oh my goodness, this smells like, you burn this and everyone will think that you're baking cake or brownies or something. I mean, it is so strong. Level, I'm gonna put this in the kitchen, right? Because I need a scent that's strong enough that it really fills up the entire first floor. So I think this is gonna do it. So now actually my appointment now. Oh, also I have to go and drop those clothes before I forget. But my next appointment is letting an appraiser in for short sales. The bank sends their own appraiser to appraise a property, and then the bank goes by the price that their appraiser gives for the property, and then the bank will determine how much from that value they'll accept. So sometimes it depends. Like, you know, you can get an appraisal for, say the appraisal came back $300,000. The bank may say, okay, well, we need to have a net of maybe 85% of that price or something like that. And then that is how we'll know. So they'll say, okay, we need an offer that is where we'll net 85% of 300,000. So that, I'm just, like I said, I'm just giving that as an example. But the short sale process cannot move forward until the bank gets that appraisal complete, because that's what you're going to use to determine what they will accept. So I mentioned this because sometimes short sale clients, they're great people, but sometimes, you know, they're just not as sometimes they're not as cooperative as maybe a traditional client would be. And so I have to like stress, and I would tell you as well to stress to your client, that when the bank is requesting something from us, like, we have to be on it. So like right now the appraisal is due, you know, we want to hurry up, schedule the appraisal, make sure he gets access and gets in quickly. Because what happens is when the bank requests documents from us or anything like that, and same thing with your clients when you're doing short sales, if, you know, the bank requests documents and you do not get them to the bank quickly, the bank will just close the file. They'll just say, you know, they can't complete the short sale. They have not received the documents they requested. They'll just close your file. They will just close your client's file out and foreclose. So you don't want that. So I always explain to my customers that, because, and the reason why I mention that is because it's so inconsistent when it comes the other way around. Because when we submit things to the bank, you know, we can submit them, you know, if the bank asks us for a document Monday, we can submit it to the bank Tuesday, and then I have to turn around and tell the customer week after week after week after week after week, I don't have any updates. You know, the bank isn't giving me any updates. So it's kind of like we give the bank documents, and then, you know, they may not have an update for weeks, but yet when the bank is requesting something, we gotta like get moving. You know, it's like, hey, we gotta get it to them today. So that's why I mentioned that, to have, you know, successful short sales, to update your clients, to, you know, kind of expect that workflow, because that's pretty normal for a short sale, that when the bank wants something from the client, we have to hurry up and get it to the bank. And then when we do submit to the bank, you know, we could go without an update for weeks, months. We could, you know, have no update. The bank will just keep saying, like, we'll keep calling in. We have a, like, for me, I use a professional negotiator. So they're always, you know, checking in every day and everything. But a lot of times, you know, they come back and they're like, oh, it's just still, the bank is just telling them file under review, file under review. So, you know, just wanted to share that with you all. As a real estate agent, you do not need to meet the appraiser at the house. You could always, you know, some appraisers, if there's a central lock box on the house, some appraisers do have central lock access, because they're actually licensed agents as well, and they will have a card. At least here in Virginia, they'll have a card and they can get in. Ooh, the sun, sorry, the video, the sun, when I made a U-turn, the sun is now this way, so that's why it got kind of dark. But So what I was gonna say, that they can get in, or you can, so you don't have to meet them because they can just get in through, you know, they'll have a central lock card, or if we just can put, sometimes people will just put a combo lock on the door so that the appraiser can get in. Now, the reason that I am personally meeting the appraiser there is just for me. The reason I meet the appraiser there for me with my short sales is to make sure that the appraiser actually goes inside the house, because they have really cut the price on how much they pay appraisers to do, because it's like a BPO really. So some appraisers do, I've noticed sometimes it's like a full appraisal, sometimes it's a BPO, but the reason why I meet them there is that for me, I think sometimes that if you don't meet the appraiser there, I don't think they actually go inside the house. And so if you're doing a short sale and like the house needs work, if the appraiser just drives by and does not go inside, and then maybe your house that you're doing the short sale, it may need repairs and things like that. What happens when they do the appraisal is too high, and then you're fighting, you know, the appraisal value. Because remember, like I said, the bank is going to use that appraisal to determine how much they will accept and approve for the short sale. So say for example, you know, if the appraiser gets to the house, how do I get this to get some more light? So if the appraiser gets to the house and, you know, they do not go inside, but it's like a really nice neighborhood and the house looks nice from the outside, and they say, okay, this house could sell for about $600,000, and they send the appraisal in for $600,000. However, then if the house needs a lot of repairs, like maybe, you know, there could be water damage inside the house or something like that, but you know, it's old and the kitchen hasn't been updated, the bathroom hasn't been up, you know, the house may need a lot of work. And then I'm like, no, like the houses in the neighborhood sell for $600,000, but this particular house needs work. It, you know, the appraisal should have been maybe $500,000 or something like that. So that's why I go, because I want to make sure the appraiser really goes inside the house when he does, you know, the appraisal. Because, yeah, I just me personally, I think that sometimes they don't go inside, because sometimes, you know, the appraisal values, I'm like, what? I'm like, there's no way, you know, the house is gonna sell for that amount. The house needs a lot of work. So then, and if that happens to you, when that does happen to me, like, you know, if I go and still, you know, they come back with something just insane, and we're fighting the appraisal, then what I do is we take pictures, you know, detailed pictures of what needs to be repaired in the house. And then we get estimates for, you know, like how much it will be to, you know, fix whatever we're saying needs to be fixed. Like if there's water damage, how much will it be to fix the water damage and things like that. If there's mold, well, how much is it to remove the mold? And then we submit that to the bank to fight to, you know, get a lower appraisal value approved. So that's the thing. So that is the reason why I'm meeting him. So yeah, for even a traditional sale, you know, if I don't meet them there, like I said in my last video, I think that was the last one. If not, it depends on how I upload. I talked about that I spoke with the appraiser and we went over comps, and, you know, I submitted comps to her. So definitely, as a real estate agent, don't just leave, you know, don't just leave the appraisal. I would say definitely still meet, you know, with the appraiser. You know, because the appraisal, you know, whether an appraisal comes in too high or too low could just, you know, really kill the whole deal. So still be, you know, involved with the appraisal. Don't just schedule the appraisal and disappear, because it's harder to fight the appraisal after it's done. It's really, really hard to get to fight an appraisal after the fact. So it's better to meet with them before and provide whatever information you can. And like for me, this particular house needs some work, go there and point out the work that it needs. And then if I just don't show up and then he comes with a too high appraisal and then I'm trying to fight the appraisal afterwards, you know, that just takes way, you know, it just takes way more work doing it that way. And you have more success, I would say, because that's the thing. After that, appraisal can, you know, be set in stone. Like, even though I send in pictures to the bank and try to get the appraisal price down, sometimes they, you know, they still stick to that price. So it's easier, like I said, or not easier, but the success rate is higher to meet with the appraiser, you know, when he's doing the appraisal and provide whatever information you can, than to have the appraiser go there and then you're trying to, you know, get the appraisal higher or lower after the fact. Because like I said, sometimes, you know, because like I had one the other day, and wait, what happened? Let me think. Right, the appraisal, no. The appraisal, I said the appraisal because this house has mold. And the appraisal value, I was like, the appraisal value is too high because this house, it needs other repairs plus the mold, right? And so I sent in, you know, I went and I took pictures of the house, took pictures of the mold, and submitted how much it would be to fix everything, right? Well, the bank, this is why I'm explaining this even harder, after they give the bank that appraisal to fight that appraisal price. So even though I submitted all that information, the bank responded, oh, your estimate was to renovate the entire house, and the entire house doesn't need to be renovated. Basically, they were saying like the estimate was to do too much, and that, you know, like say we had an estimate of $40,000. They were saying, well, yeah, it does need that, but your estimate is to, you know, renovate the entire house, and the entire house doesn't need to be renovated. I'm like, you know, because I'm like, anyone that buys that house is going to renovate the entire house. The house has mold, you know, several of the rooms, it wasn't like one room or just a kitchen, several of the rooms need to be updated. I'm like, anyone that buys this house is going to renovate the whole thing. So that's why I say it's harder to get them to, you know, adjust to a more reasonable value after the fact than if you meet with the appraiser before and you know, maybe, you know, point out, hey, there's mold here, hey, this needs to be fixed, that needs to be fixed, you know. So that's just my tip, I would definitely say, because like I said, before I actually you know, became really like professionally involved in real estate, I thought there was like a science to this. The sun keeps moving. I'm sorry, you guys, so some of the video, I guess, it's dark, but I thought there was like a science to the appraisal. But man, no, appraisals are, you know, are very subjective. So that's why I say it's better to meet the appraiser there, because, you know, an appraiser, it's really like what the appraiser, it's very subjective to what the appraiser thinks. Especially like, for instance, like say, you know, say like I'm in Virginia and they send the appraiser and I look and I realize, hey, this is somebody that's active in Maryland. So then when they come to Virginia, this is, you know, it's not that they can't do their job, but they're not, I guess, going to be as familiar with that neighborhood, because maybe this is the first appraisal that they're doing maybe in the area, you know, in a year or something, as opposed to if, you know, their last 30 appraisals were in a completely different state. You know what I mean? So that's, like I said, that's what I have learned, is that appraisals are very subjective. I used to think that, you know, there was really a science to it, but no, appraisals are very subjective, and that's what I'm saying. Hold on, that's my husband. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
Where are you? Okay, because you didn't say you were leaving.
Oh, I forgot you were even there. I'm just trying to get so much stuff done today.
Can you bring something to eat? Can you bring something to eat?
What do you want? The thing with my husband sometimes is, to this day, sometimes I think he forgets that, like, I actually work. So sometimes, you know, like, he's calling me like, oh, can you just get lunch? Or, oh, you didn't leave, you know. Like, I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I need, you know, out here working. You know, but I gotta take care of my baby, so I just readjust my face. Okay, what do you want me to pick up, sweetie? That's the thing sometimes working from home, because he's home. Well, he's home today, but he was on travel, so we were at home at the same time. But I'm not really used to him being here during the day, so I left and completely forgot to say, hey, I'm leaving. But that's the thing, like, during the day, until I have to pick up the kids at around 6:30, like, you know, that's why I try to get everything done, because, you know, once I pick them up, that's like another second shift for me, because it'll be, you know, all about them and getting them ready, and, you know, asking them how their day was and getting dinner ready, and, you know, so I'm usually, you know, running around during the day trying to get everything that, you know, I can get done, you know, during the day, to really utilize, you know, while they're in camp and, you know, and daycare and stuff, because yeah, like I said, the evenings really can end up, you know, being all about them. Or if I have an appointment in the evening, then I kind of have to coordinate either for my husband to be there, or or my neighbor helps out a lot.